What is up, my little deinos? Vepsis, your coach of the Helsinki Hydreigons, and we are here for the APA Academy Week 11 battle versus ShyGuy and his team being the San Diego Spheals. His YouTube channel link will be down below in the description, as well as all of the other APA coaches throughout the season who are still part of it, as well as my GFX Maker in the SlackOut. His YouTube channel will be down below in the description, so make sure to check them out. And whereas my opponent's roster, you can see on the top right hand corner below my own roster as a comparison, and his C captains are Terrakion, Kurem and Salazzo respectively. So that is the matchup and what we have for this week. And now let's go briefly through my sets, but if you want to skip this part of the video and just go straight to the battle in itself, the timestamp link should be popping right about now. So if you want to skip this part, the option is there for you, so you know now which time of the video in itself the battle actually starts. So starting now, going through the team itself that I'm gonna be bringing, I try to be very brief on this. We are gonna be running fully physically defensive landers there with leftovers with Earthquake, Toxic, Protect and U-Turn, just for the Executor and Terrakion to be able to deal with them. Then we have a modest max special attack Mega Gengar here with the Dual Stab with Sludge Bomb and Shadow Ball. Then we have Sucker Punch as the niche priority move for the Mega like a Sam if it comes down to it, which I have a niche way to make sure that it would be in this range ideally. And then we have Destiny Bond there as a last effort to make sure that something is trying to revenge kill us. If we happen to outspeed, then we can take them down with us in that turn. So that is going to be Mega Gengar for this week. Then we have a Choice Banded Kartana here with Leaf Blade, Smart Strike, Sacred Sword and Glocko. Just very straightforward, strong wall breaker versus him, and making his debut for us this season in the APA Academy after I took over the team starting for week 8. This is gonna be first time for me to use Kartana in Draft League format, so hopefully it's gonna be doing a lot of work for us in the wall breaking role. Then we have our kind of like a Suicune check and a Yveltal lure if their stealth rocks are up, which is our Colbo Berry, Calm Mind, Latios with Dual Stab and Recover. This thing is there, like I said, as a Suicune check if it happens to be Calm Mind instead of its own. And the Draco Meteor after +1 should be killing a offensive Yveltal after the stealth rocks, and we do have the Colbo Berry just in case if he's Scarf or he happens to have Sucker Punch on it, trying to revenge kill us with that way. So the second last member of the team is gonna be our Mega Legasam check for the most part, being our type now fully specific defensive with Frustration, Pursuit, Sleep, Talk and Rest. Pursuit is there to make sure that after one successful one, it should be in a range of Sucker Punch for Mega Gengar. So that is kind of the concept that I went with between these two, so the Mega Legasam is being able to deal with as best as we can and what we have working with our roster. So that is basically its role for this week. It can take on other special attacking threats as well, especially if the Eviolite is still intact, and we can go from there. And the last member of the team is gonna be VePotato, the stun face with leftovers and also specially defensive. This is there for the Yveltal because I don't really have anything else that can really take it on too well naturally with the dual stab that it has, and Oblivion Wind plus Dark Aura boosted Dark moves are very hard to deal with otherwise on my team. So this is our best way to deal with it, with Dual Stab in Discharge and Earth Power. And then we also have Stealth Rocks to be able to get them up ideally as soon as possible, and then Protect to gain a little bit of health back, and maybe burn a Sand Turn if that happens to be helpful for us in that regard. And then Static Ability plus Discharge hopefully gives up a little bit of lucky and bad factor, hopefully going for our way in some sort of way throughout the battle. But that is going to be the team of 6, and now let's go and see how the battle turned out. And here we are with the battle in itself, whereas my opponent ShyGuy decides to bring Yveltal, Go-Goat, Yuxi, Suicune, Salazzo and the Mega Legasam. And the big surprises that he brought versus me from these 6 were, to me at least, the Go-Goat and the Salazzo. But the fact that he has both Go-Goat and Suicune, those two together are kind of a little bit of a pain for my Choice Banded Kartana to be able to freely go for a move and getting a huge damage output on anything that would try to switching on it or having to take the hit. So kind of one of the things that I have to keep in mind going through this battle, besides keeping the other bigger threats that were very obvious to be brought what he did, and be able to deal with accordingly, would be that I would be able to get rid of the Go-Goat or the Suicune, so I'm freed up to go for either for Leaf Blade for free or for the Smart Strike. But I'm gonna lead off with the mod that did not actually have a specific purpose for this matchup, because the mods that he decided to bring and the things that the Landry Stereo was supposed to check defensively weren't brought in next to Trigger and Terrakion, and he leads up right from the get-go with the biggest threat versus me being the VePotato itself. And we go into our VePotato, hard swapping into it. I didn't want to risk Landry Stereo to take any hit, and what do you know, VePotato immediately comes through in turn 1. It doesn't take any longer than that to be a clutch member of the team, because he's able to get the static para on the VePotato when he goes for the U-turn. So VePotato, the king of all of the little crops out there, is here and producing us and being a really clutch member for ourselves at this point of time already, being able to get that through for us. And the Go-Goat came in as he's gonna be making a double, going to his VePotato, probably thinking that my Latios would be a free switching to the Go-Goat, and to be fair it was, but I went for the Protect because it was a free turn for me to gain health, and I wasn't really fearing what the Go-Goat would be doing on that turn when I would give it a free turn to do. And he went into his VePotato, and now he went for the Dark Pulse, tried to get some damage on me and be able to still outspeed speed me as well, which is not too surprising because VePotato is quite slow, which is kind of easy to tell naturally by otherwise as well. Like, we are a little bit slower side, but it's fine because we still are able to do our work. And we got our rocks up, and here I just went for the free Protect as he went back into his Go-Get, and here just another free turn of Protect. I don't have to think anything on this turn, because health is really necessary for me to be able to take on that VePotato defensively wise with this thing. And basically this is why we run it, so we can get these turns for free and get a little bit of information out of it as he goes for the horn leads, just hitting what is in front of him, knowing the fact that I likely click Protect anyways. And now he does swap into his Yuxi, as I'm gonna be swapping out into my Latios on this turn, I believe, which is a little bit annoying because this means that he can go for a slow U-turn, and I don't want my Latios to take any necessary damage. So I actually go into Landry Stereo, which I decide that, you know what, if there's something on my team that I'm gonna be using as a Yuxi switching, it's probably gonna be my Landry Stereo, because it doesn't have any other purpose on this matchup. And now he does go for the U-turn, try to get the slow initiative or chip damage on the Latios, and he does get a crit, but that doesn't really matter because we are fully physically defensive. That was a resisted hit, and we got the Intimidate off as well, and we have the leftovers on it. I guess the Intimidate doesn't matter with the crit in itself, but essentially we are bulky enough so that the crit shouldn't really matter. It's just funny that it did happen to get it. And now he does go into his Suicune, which is a little bit annoying, which I do have to respond to immediately. Going to my Latios, fearing potentially getting a Skull in our way, but he does make a great play. Goes for the Toxic, knowing the fact that I probably don't swap into a Kaltana right here onto a potential Scott and getting burned. So he's able to get my Latios on a timer, which means that this is gonna kind of nullify the effectiveness of it with Calm Mind, as long as I have to stay in and the Toxic starts to rack up. But I go for the Calm Mind immediately, see how he's gonna be responding to this, but he does pack Roar on the Suicune, so he's Toxic and Roar on the Suicune, which kind of means that he's probably not Calm Mind, which is actually better for me, but it does mean that my Latios did not get anything out of the turn. And here that he rolled me into my Mega Gengar, I was like, you know what, this is a turn for me to go for a Sludge Bomb. You really don't have much to resist it, barring a Salazzo, which I would outspeed on the following turn if he would come in and go for a Shadow Ball from there, and he would have to take Stealth Rocks while at it, but he decides to stay in, gets the burn on the first try. So now my Sucker Punch, the tech what I have on this Mega Gengar is kind of nullified in itself as it is, even though we have obviously a very low attack stat, but it was supposed to be able to catch the Mega Lysam off guard if I get it Postal Trap once without Type Null. But because of the burn, this was a scenario that I was like, you know what, because of the burn we kind of take our losses here, but we are able to 1v1 the Suicune thankfully, which means that now he is still resist barring the Salazzo, which I don't consider really a resist to that hit from my Choice Bandit Katana. Is now more freed up, and that was something that I was definitely willing to take a trade-off on. And now we can go from here, and now he does bring his Mega Lysam in. I do decide to keep my Mega Gengar as a last-ditch effort for a sack, or be able to get it in once before rocks would go up versus the Yuxi coming in, and then I get a huge hit on that thing if I needed to weaken it down further. and we do go into our Type Null as he's gonna be going for the Shadow Ball, which I was like, you know what, that was a free switching for my Type Null, and now we do go for the Pursuit. So Type Null immediately on his debut is able to get his roll done, which is getting that huge damage on the Alakazam, but he is relatively bulky on that thing, so even if my Mega Gengar wasn't getting burned, there was a decent chance that could have been still a roll for me to kill with a Sucker Punch if I wasn't burned. But either way, regardless of that, and speaking of Mega Gengar, we do swap it in on this Yuxi as he does go for the Stealth Rock, so I do get it in before then, so otherwise it would be already died on the entry if I didn't. And now I do go for the Shadow Ball, but he reveals to have the Cassie Berry, which is a cool tech. For sure to have the Reducing Berry. There was a chance that I could have seen that coming, but to be completely honest, I thought that maybe it would be something like a Super Berry just to gain a lot of health on one turn, so it covers as many things as possible. But he happened to have the Gossip Berry, which means that he took a little bit less, but it still was a good enough chunk so that this Yuxi is definitely in a range for me to revenge kill with my Destructo Disc in my Kartana, which is gonna be going for that free Smart Strike over here. Because the Go-Goat, even if it would come in and try to fish for the Zap Super boost and be immune to my attack, is not gonna be taking this Smart Strike too well, because we are Choice Banded Kartana, and that HP drop so fast, considering that is a fully physically defensive Go-Goat and they have a very high HP stat naturally, but it's not gonna be able to take us 1v1. So the thing that he tried to switching defensively was to deal with my Kartana, died to that thing anyway, so that didn't go too well for him, but he was able to tell that I'm definitely Choice Banded, because otherwise I could have not been able to pull that one off. And this is a tricky turn for me, because I was thinking that maybe this is a C move user this week, because he didn't bring any of his others, so I thought he would try to go for a Nasty Plot and then blow something back as my defensive play and go for the C move from there. So I still decide to stay in, which in a hindsight obviously didn't pay out for me, because Kartana got absolutely roasted to a million pieces from that Fire Blast from the Salazar. But hopefully we didn't really need the Kartana anymore from the battle. That's kind of what I'm banking on, and that's why I was willing to make the aggressive play of staying in instead of swapping out, because I figured that losing Kartana is a lot less bigger a loss for me than it would be my defensive moves if that would have been like a Nasty Plot Salazar instead. But we do see that he is a substitute Toxic Black Slug Salazar, so that in a hindsight would have been a lot better if I dealt with this thing with Type Null, because Type Null beat this thing 1v1. But because I didn't have that information, I had to cut my losses. I went into my Stun Fix just in case, so I can eliminate this thing, but it does mean that he was able to get me on timer. But VePotato still claiming his kill on the Salazar with the Earth Power. We did go for the discharge first, kind of make him respect that he cannot swap into anything else on that turn, and now he does bring his Yveltal in after the Salazar went down. So I guess he's gonna be trying to go for a Dark Pulse flinch, or he's gonna be going for the knockoff to eliminate my leftovers, which I was like, you know what, this is fine, because VePotato not only has gotten Rocks up, eliminated Salazar, but is now able to get a huge damage on this Yveltal itself with his discharge, meaning that after he's gonna be swapping out, it's barely potentially gonna be living the Stealth Rocks, as he does now swap out into his Yuxi as I go for a second consistent discharge, I believe. And this is gonna be leaving the Yuxi in a very low amount of health. It doesn't barely kill it, unfortunately. I would have loved to see VePotato getting another kill on the game, but you know what? Starfish did amazing already as it is, and now it's just going to our Latios, and I do decide to go for the Psyshock. I didn't want to go into anything else, and I wanted to keep the offensive pressure once I keep the Yuxi, or I'm able to get the Yuxi out of the way, and making sure that he has the hardest time to really consider swapping into anything else on his team. And thanks to the Colbo Berry, even if the Yveltal came in, I can still take any hit from it regardless from this amount of health. But he does go into his Mega Alakazam, probably expecting me to be like a Colbo Berry and just covering that aspect of it. And here he's probably gonna be trying to go for the Shadow Ball, but I'm gonna be making another kind of like predictable switching, but hopefully he's not seeing it coming, in a sense that he's gonna be going for the Shadow Ball yet again and not try to go for a potential Focus Blast if he had it. At this point in time, I still expected to have it, but there's always a chance he runs Dazzling Gleam instead for my Pangoro to be more accurate and more stronger hit on it. And either way, we take the Psyshock afterwards very well, and I was able to go for the Frustration, which means that now Type Null is able to clean up the game from here. It was able to eliminate the Mega Alakazam. It was the one that took it down from full health to that range, and then it finished it off from there, from the point of the health. And now it's able to take care of the Yveltal, which VePotato did a fantastic job nullifying that threat for us. So the Type Null gets the last 2 kills of the game, and that is going to be a 3-0 win for us in week 11 versus ShyGuy, and a good game to him. I haven't actually kind of like seen him around myself, because I'm not particularly kind of active in Showdown Draft League community anymore, so I would anticipate him to be a very good battler himself, at least throughout the battle when I talk to him, or afterwards the battle, and how I have watched some of his battles prior to this point. I have seen that he seems to be knowing quite well what he's doing, so this matchup definitely was going to be hard for me to pull off, and thankfully we were able to do that. And we actually have some friends, we share some friends in the community as well, but we never really come across ourselves to meet each other or talk to each other or battle versus each other up until this point. So it was nice to get to battle him and kind of get to know him a little bit throughout the scheduling and battling stuff. So make sure to check out my opponent, and thank you all for watching. Next battle will be our final battle of the regular season, when we go up against Root, who we did also go up against in 2 times in UBL Season 3. So we are going up against someone who we have more experience of dealing with, but he has a very threatening team, which you're going to be seeing on next week. And the next battle that you're going to be seeing from my point of view for the Eon World Trophy as an update will be my Week 7 battle versus Nerdy Steve. The battle versus Frosted for week 6 is going to be postponed later on, so ideally you're going to be seeing it like 2 weeks from now on, or something in that nature. So we are going to be having a little bit of hiatus from the Eon World Trophy, but the next battle and the next upload from my side should be the Week 7 battle with Nerdy Steve in the Eon World Trophy on Wednesday, and then on the next Sunday we come back for the final battle here on the APA Academy versus Root. So stay tuned for that and for those battles, and thank you all for watching, and until next time, I'm gonna be seeing you guys later.